Russ Quincy bringing news that does. Cutting edge on radio culture flow. Voices rise as the good vibes grow. The Seeking editorial feels like bliss. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go. Topical vibes rolling through the waves. Conversations that'll make you rave. From politics to island tales, every story fills our sails. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. Radio culture can't be beat. Voices blend in harmony. This is where you want to be. Hey, Ras Quincy on the mic tonight, bringing light with all his might. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go.
Radio,
Feel the rhythm,
radio
feel the
culture.
beat. Radio culture can't be beat. Voices blend in harmony. This is where you want to be. Hey, Ras Quincy on the mic tonight, bringing light with all his might. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go.
Yes, indeed. 1212 radio culture. Are you mean? Yes, welcome to Weekend Editorial. My name is Kwesi Isan back home, and I'm in the hot seat right now. It's not a hot seat, it's just this seat. But I'm reaching you live from Studio One, Texas, USA Radio Culture.
Cutting edge on radio culture flow. Voices rise as the good vibes grow. The Seeking editorial feels like bliss. Tune into.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Weekend Editorial today. Apologies, but no apologies. Same way, because we did actually inform you yesterday, that is, Saturday, we were supposed to bring you the live stream, but due to new arrangements, we are not able to bring you the live stream on Saturdays anymore. We will announce a new date, and that's what the situation is right now. We will be announcing a new date for our weekly live stream. But believe me, we will definitely be bringing you the live stream, and it is going to be quality. Hopefully this week we will be able to bring it to you, but we don't know what exact time yet. So we're still deliberating on what time suits us best, because you know how we operate. We are an online platform, right? So we're trying to cater for all our audience, depending on the feedback that we have received. So all things considered, please take and stay. We will definitely be bringing you the new times. In the meantime, Weekend Editorial goes on right now. Once again, my name is Kwesi Isonbako, and you know how we do. I come in peace, I come not to please. Today, Okatakyie Afrifa again. Yes, again. And why do I say again? Let me cut straight to the subject. All right, politicking season has been over for a while now. Nation building has started, as far as most of us are concerned. But it looks like to some people it's perpetual politicking, perpetual, never-ending politicking. Nothing about nation building. And fine, if you want to stick there. And like I said to my brother the other day on this same show, in this same seat, I said, bro, if you're going to be a barefaced apologist for a certain political party, which there's nothing wrong with, right? People do that. Do that. But do not come in our space and try to be like you are some type of, nation builder kind of person who wants to bring anything to the table. Okatakyie Afrifa. But this is what it is, though. Something happened. He has this new show, and I checked, and I did check again. So maybe I'm wrong, because I think the second time I checked, I did see comments, but the first time I checked, the comment section was disabled, and maybe good for your Okatakyie Afrifa, because I don't think a whole lot of Ghanaians think very much about you, too much like that, you know. And again, hey, do you, all right? Because honestly, I'm like you in a certain way. I don't too much care about what people think about me, all right? I do me. But here's what it is, though. If you are putting yourself in a certain space, okay, you are standing as a freedom fighter, as a whatever, a journalist, as a broadcaster, as an opinion leader, as a chief, who's on your chief, so crack on. And I have a few things to say about that also. I have some images to show you about this guy and all of that in connection with what I'm going to say, right? But this guy, if you're going to do that now, go ahead and do your thing with your people. When you step out, and we're serious about nation building, we're serious about leaving a legacy for future generations. We are serious about righting wrongs. We're serious about restructuring our lives as a people. We're serious about stopping the brain drain trend. We're serious about stopping that phenomenon which makes young Ghanaian girls travel to the Middle East and are treated like donkeys. We're trying to reverse all of that. And we have a great opportunity to do so. So when you step in the way of that barging train now, Okatakyie, you'll be railroaded. Because I personally, I think, say, this show, you see, we wanted to stop making individuals as the subject of a show. We want to stop doing that, right? We want to deal with policy. We want to deal with ideas, with politics, with things that makes things that make our minds, you know, work. That's what I'm trying to say to you. That's what we're trying to deal with. But then we have people like Okatakyie Afrifa, to who is perpetual politicking. So this guy would come up and try to be, and I heard somebody say something about him. It cracked me up. So, somebody said, Ghana for Charlie.
Is where you want to be. Hey, see on the mic tonight.
Radio culture. Yes, indeed, radio culture, airborne, via the internet, worldwide. I wish a wide world, yes. Obisi Oye, China Mall Kevin Taylor. Somebody said he's a China Mall Kevin Taylor. Like all of a sudden, these guys' paymasters have, excuse me for that. All of a sudden, these guys' paymasters have, popped up and sponsoring a studio for him and whatnot. So this guy shows up in some kind of fancy kind of looking like studio, fancy looking studio, of course. I'm saying fancy looking studio, all right? I don't care. Maybe he could have the CNN studios. That man is devious, and that's where I'm trying to head with all this, right? This guy, all of a sudden, is trying to reposition or position or reaffirm his status, maybe, as that person who can be credited with that term that has become very popular in Ghana now, Jandam. This is the guy who came up with that term. Kevin Taylor dug it out of this guy. This guy said it himself. I don't want to waste your time with all those video sentences. You guys have seen those things a dozen times. This is the same guy who came and said no more radio so no more can sema enye no cre oni hopes in a doye. And some other people omukwa no can sema enye no cre egujo mahama so omu ya no tina mimos. Na no bi so de become mimos. Typical, mimos. No tina no Almost, that's what he said. So when we are thinking about nation building, no, we're dealing with somebody to who it's like for whatever reward or for whatever gratification, right? He'll go and lie about somebody, lie about situations, lie about things, and then go and sit somewhere and drink beer and laugh. When erudite minds get together to think about how to reverse these things that I mentioned a couple minutes ago, all these bad things that we want to surmount as a country, as a people, when erudite minds get together to think about things like that now, on the other side, you see, baby, Nyankopon ebo na mpesi no, ehwa na you can say, boni for so ekokoto to ne momone. No be so. That same on the same trajectory now, no, you have somebody like this guy whose stated mission is just to make sure say he is just going to get in the way of the people who are planning to do things for the country. When Akufo-Addo was there, we saw you with your half-hearted, half-throat criticisms of him and his government. We saw you all your nonsense. We saw your Okatakyie Afrifa, sorry, not bulletproof. And I keep telling you, that's what showed me that this guy is fake as fake. You understand? Because you see this guy, you see his charisma, you see his, all of that. I've said it on this show before. I used to check him out. I used to be like, oh, Charlie, this guy, he's a bold guy, can lead, the youth, them to stand up for their rights and all this. That means he's no devious, dangerous, Koshini, dangerous guy. Right? He came back to tell us himself, say, oh no moye jandam, ya jo moshe daye. So now that he has a studio all of his own, no, why would anybody trust this guy? Why would anybody trust this guy? And I will tell you why you cannot trust this guy. Based on Saturday Night see recently, when I started the show. I'll get to it in a second. Right? But check this out though. Okatakyie Afrifa started off by, first of all, okay, I established, say yes, he is the king of Jandam. I'm not gonna say declare no, so no, and I know Mokoye Sade no. Ofi honom and the Okokodi youth being so more kwakoye, you can say protest, right? Protest no more kwakoye no. And this is this guy. This guy has many personalities. I don't want this to be about a character thing. But I think so what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say this devoid of insulting him or anything like that, all right? Because I'm just trying to bring out certain character traits, which may help us to understand why he does what he does, right? This guy sees himself as a leader. Nothing wrong with that. But you say yem boa hinche enswawa. Nana ubetimi forces a wonyo hene da o. Me hu se wo yo hene wo krom. China for cry your hene wo Ghana wo brother. Intenu krampo de enheda anye ye hu too much biasa. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. It is how hene na wudi ni de China for cry your hene e wo Ghana. Intend it's not a big deal like that, too much like that. Tienfa no tun chen. Aside that, no. Where do you exhibit true leadership qualities? Okay, Tiche, this is somebody who sees himself as a revolutionary, right? Why he sees himself as or a Bema or Chalenan can also call soja. In Monaco would jaya sunje bama preko. Right? Because this guy has that image of himself as somebody who's like militant and he's like, revolutionary or something kind of says, or he will put himself up as that. Nothing wrong with that in essence. But where are you leading the people is my problem. Because you are the same one who admit say, Obi Chan Troche, say, Obi War, you kind of saying, President Muhammad, that is, a war, you kind of saying, hotel with Dubai and all of these things, when you knew you were lying. And we've gone through all that. I thought, say, you would learn something. But here comes Okatakyie Afrifa again with his new studio all set to do nothing but do that same exact thing, lies. Now, let me play this video. Let's watch the video, and I'll come back to speak a little more about this thing. All right, let's go.
And the frame me from America say, catch your mama said, Jan, why am I say other why day? What's your what was it, sir? A ye, and to back and I do by 11. I'm a friend. I'm saying, media some use you near so your mama the ambulance biaba na ambulance no no de ayarefo begum na me say hadan ayarefo be ya momfa your mama new ambulance no momfa nkyere Ghana fo na yenhwe bi yenhwe bi resetting wait resetting we do the above for chips compound no yemfa we mfa nipa we
more fire.
Abobo ya
Nyama
kesi adwoma ma ebe ye no wo ya ma yen enie abobo ya e wa bra adwoma ma nim se
more fire.
So obi yare ne de ne call hospital ye ka se ambulance it comes with certain equipment a best sustaining nipa no
Exactly.
and so when what they may and mouth for any age because the I keep on telling you that the level of thinking of the people. Look at this gentleman. Then we obi yare na way to moi and your man ambulance mo say timi survive ni panas and na kodu hospital. Look at the gentleman who is happy. Because can't wait to see as well arrogant. So it's not what I'm saying, it's what they are listening to. Because the people cannot they cannot comprehend, they cannot understand what is going on around them.
Exactly so.
They settle for less. It's your Bobo government. Mr. President, why are there?
You see the nonsense. Okay. We will come back to his character traits and all of that, but let me clear this off really quick. And credit to Kevin Taylor, because I think immediately he picked up this thing. No, he came out to do a video to debunk that nonsense. So I probably don't even have to go into that. But for those who may have missed that, no, the whole story is this: there is, you can't say a Ghanaian entrepreneur, right? Who, excuse me, who manufactures these things, these tricycle ambulances, right? Now, during Nana Akufo-Addo's time, this person approached the government and told them, say, oh no, bitimi is a way be on a scale. And they had a conversation and all of that. And then the person brought prototypes to give to the government to see. And no video na share yo. And then Okatakyie Afrifa, sitting in his 2025 Red Rose studio, no, is misleading Ghanaians. Say within 1 month, Penna John Mahama buy, John Mahama buy how many months near? In some civilized societies, people like you would give him what we call a honeymoon period. In civilized societies, don't we give the president, the new president, like a first 100 days, first whatever days, whatever? This guy comes out with guns blazing, sword drawn, scabbard flying somewhere, ready to attack with mischief. John Mahama had nothing to do with those tricycles. Number one. Number two, Okatakyie Afrifa, are you and sometimes it's hard to hold it back because you're dealing with people who, by their utterances, suggest that you are stupid. Because unim says na platforms so misinforming call for now. Okatakyie Afrifa. Okay, I promised. Let's keep it simple and straight. But check this out though, people, because onim very well, so onim so there, then it's even worse. And I'll get to that in a second. But let me stay on that subject for the tricycles for a little bit. Yeah, encourage Ghanaian ingenuity. Yeah, encourage Ghanaian entrepreneurship. Yeah, encourage things and enterprises that provide employment for people, the youth and all of these things. Now, let's forget about Akufo-Addo's time and John Mahama's time. Let's say these tricycles were even brought in today. A Ghanaian youth, first of all, Yankra, or not just John Mahama, Accra, Sadiewe, if you baby Naba. No, these things were made in Ghana by a Ghanaian youth, a Ghanaian person. You're encouraging us on any bebrea. Okatakyie Afrifa, to your small, fickle little mind, no. I'm sure so if you call my 10-year-old son and ask him, say, oh my 2 benefits of Sadia will be to me amount. I swear. I'm tempted to call my son into the studio right now and lay this story before him. He's 11 years old. And tell him, say, give me 2 benefits of, say, Ghanaian person ever produce tricycles as ambulances in Ghana. Give me 2 pet. And in case it's still, lost on you, Okatakyie Afrifa, may I suggest, say, employment, number 1. People will have to manufacture these things. Youth will get jobs. You heard? May I suggest, say, mini wokase, you will be videos I did or babisi on him, a shake and son of your clinic. You do babisia on him, it's the wheelbarrow near pushing it in the hospital. Into wheelbarrow the tricycle, we're getting a year. Are you stupid? Wheelbarrow. I do a barbet name. Na kwa brani be pushy. And also a trailer girl. Wheelbarrow as America. Wheelbarrow. A trailer girl. Na nipa any gym no all pushy and a movie at the speed of nipa now all pushy at the end. Who's having to deal with the resistance of a pregnant woman in the wheelbarrow? Say Akufo-Addo, say Mahama, say Wanyo. If you have these tricycles, in areas where you nipa share it didn't chance and they didn't clinic, is that a bad thing? But you have people like Okatakyie Afrifa will come and make propaganda, say, Sadia way, because we be to 4-runner, be a mas, you said 4-wheel drive, be a man, team. And then they be a new front to my fofro. No big jina, yeah, wanna be. This guys wanna be everything. Why wanna be a something? O front to my no jina, they will see posing in hono. So ye na ye ni mo tumfo. Sabi unana, manu dasumna so that make us me. As you say, way. You understand? He wants to be everything, but he's not any of those things that he wants to be. This guy wants to be a journalist. He's not a journalist. He wants to be a broadcaster. He's a broadcaster of some sort. You can't deny him that. But to what degree? Say you're building nation, you kind of create, you do time, you're to a baby, you who say yes. There is a certain agenda. Don't we at least have to give the government some time to see where he's heading? That's all your mistake. Now they straight away. That's all bounce. So then come with facts, brother. Like what of first video way? And I said I was going to come to that. I'll come to that in the second part of this thing. But check this out though. You kind of saying journalist. And now, what first video way? First of all, video no campo. The source himfa. That's another thing.
Bringing news that does cutting edge on radio culture flow. Voices rise as the good vibes grow. The Seeking editorial feels like bliss. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go. Topical vibes rolling through the waves. Conversations that
we will talk more about that. After this commercial break, we'll be right back.
It is time again for the biggest roots reggae festival in Africa, the Kuchoko Roots Festival 2025, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, for the very first time in Ghana, performing live Culture featuring Kenyatta Hill, son of the legend Joseph Hill.
I took a sleep this morning,
Also bringing down the house from Augustown, Jamaica, is Dwayne Stevenson.
So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. Godfather, you rescue me.
Alongside the legendary reggae gospel singer George Nooks from Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston Mix Accra for a highly spiritual tango in a Kuchoko style. Oh my God, all hell will break loose and Satan will be taken hostage. This is Kuchoko Roots Festival 2025, and from Ghana, welcome your roots master, the Kuchoko legend, Black Rasta with the herbalist band. Rasta man don't go in a barber shop. Rasta man can sit in a barber chair. Conqueraja vibes, Rena, Mighty Octodus Band, Nana Nto, the Bombardier, Osajifo, Nilante, Jawai, Daddy Bosco, Ras Apia Levi, Kwame Bediakon, Akle, Tona Hope, and the High Life legend Samuel Owusu from Burkina Faso. Meet Zedmu, Rasim Porsche, and Imadu. Saturday, 8th March 2025. The venue is La Pleasure Beach, Accra. Time is 12 noon till you drop. Rate is only 50 Ghana cedis. And as usual, there will be free cocoa, kulkuli, kose, and masa to break your fast and to put you in the spiritual mood for Kuchoko Bam. And for more information, you contact 0244 499 461. Media partners
TV3, Onya TV, Onya FM, 3FM, Connect FM, Akuma FM, Black Empire Media, Prekesa Media.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa, Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV, Africa, from African perspective. Blood of the slain will never. 1212 Radio Culture. Yes, welcome back. All right. So, as I was saying before we went on the commercial break, Okatakyie Afrifa takes a video off of TikTok or something like that. As a journalist, Waya Wadwini said, "Uwo sebi something to contribute to national discourse. Entino wohu bibi. Entino opese ode eba to the fore. Ebeka ho asem. First of all, utie video na ose na ase. Ewa America for so sometimes mun mayenjai mudimbo kakra. Because we say seven previous. It's stupid to say the very least. Say, or maybe it's just because he's uninformed. Because I don't know their level of enlightenment or whatever. But when we video our TikTok, one simple cue. If you see a video and it says Kasongo ye, Kasongo ye. As a journalist, that is not your source, Okatakyie Afrifa. A video that has somebody laughing on it and saying, Kasongo ye. That is not your source. And so I always say, and the video sending it from America. And Okatakyie say John Mahama akofa weyaba tricycles aba. Now let's look at Okatakyie Afrifa and his claim as a journalist, as a broadcaster, as an opinion leader. Oti Ghana and na obifi America send you video say John Mahama won't neti Ghana hono. Akofa tricycles aba. You, by your posturing, are supposed to be one of the most informed, one of the most influential broadcasters in Ghana. Abi, no be you say Abamba Bingo take some money, you know what. So you know things. So it shouldn't be too difficult for you to ascertain the veracity of that video. Number one, as a journalist. Number one, you're more level playing field to say, yeah, at this point, we are not judging you. Say, oh, you're wrong, and now you're right. And I say, oh, you're devious, and I say, oh, yeah. Let's just say, in the normal course of your work as a journalist, as a broadcaster, only a journalist there, I don't know. But as a broadcaster, as somebody with a microphone, as somebody with an opinion, as somebody you even have the audacity to go bring some minions in the studio or kasanomo or moji just with Chihomano as so Hinibi or whatever that he is. And more fire. Call. Wow, I find the Ghana journalism correctly. I can't media no. I had time. You're calling from news now. You did beno to say there. You cook or front to ma. That's fine. I mean, nothing wrong with so be front to my back wings. It's fine. Except that I'm reading behind, beyond whatever into my kekeno frano. But let's put that on the side. What I'm saying is, to the point says to say, as a broadcaster or kasakrana or minions be or mujna or moji just so man call more fire. Again, so no. At time. And you know so. He or copies identify Captain Smart or Captain Smart names or status I also need DJ now. To be honest with you, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it cracks me up. But I'm not supposed to laugh on serious issues. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? But Okatakyie Afrifa goes on to say, so no. Now say, I mean the level of enlightenment. Video be they are sending if you're American to the brand or Ghana hono or not to Ghana wabi as a top journalist, as a top broadcaster or person ye fums or but when Timmy and cross check that fact when Timmy and cross check who say video na see if America brand about baby on one casatino what's nothing and say if a video if Virginia or the brand now, see, video ni fi branche.
Bliss, tune into that weekend show.
Now, see, video ni fi Bronx no de breno. Now, see, video no fi Ghana wa. Binim so boa, but I'm just telling you. First of all, me sure so wasi crapu bia wo bibia. But you am funny say, I'm passing us in the breno. Uni nyansa, we a broadcaster. O person o chese o ye opinion leader. O call out to inform opinion. It is your responsibility. So the first thing is also checking the veracity of that video. And if you had done so, you would have noticed, it wasn't even, first of all, it wasn't imported. Number two, it wasn't even during Muhammad's time. And to me, the biggest point is this, even if it was, so what the flying fake? Try to keep it clean. I've already talked about that. When your video now buy a boom no and then or kasanso with the vim force so you get sucked in. And he has his own team. Imagine said they are going to stay in that corner. And I think he has identified that team and he wants to be their champion. That's what's going on. Okatakyie Afrifa has identified a group of disgruntled, dissatisfied Ghanaians. They are causing After all, when we hear when somebody says nobody should pray for the president to succeed, Because same say, what country ni mubi. What the country ni mubi. When the president succeeds, you succeed. Your children succeed. Akufo Dubai, almost say, or yeah, free education. Me, I didn't hear any good news, good stories about that free education. But let's just say, I also heard some people who stood on that to vote for MPP. So it meant something for them. And to the young fan, it's a benefit, right? That time, MPP from Kwama benefited from your kind of free SHS. No. So if Akufo-Addo had succeeded, generally, the whole Ghana would have succeeded. So love him, hate him. You don't go saying, don't pray for him to succeed. That is plain stupid. That is just plain stupid. But this is the kind of people we are dealing with. And Okatakyie Afrifa wants to be their champion. And I think he's been able to talk some of those people who have some wherewithal into putting up that studio for him. So he can go there and go. And of course, when that happens, now you have to, satisfy your paymasters. And then you throw all ethics to the dogs. Nothing matters. Nothing at all matters. Except to satisfy the paymasters. Until you draw things from where they don't even exist. Come and say, oh yeah, John Hama, we know Akakofaba, we abobo ya government. But it's nation building time. It's nation building time. Yeah, when we were growing up, very, very, very young, and you school near there, and he started saying, envision a certain country where certain things will be a certain way other than what they were at the time. And my notice is say some governments come, they move the needle a little bit. Some governments come not so much. Some governments come, they don't even know what they're doing here and there and the next. So say, you know what's happening? Ghanaians have spoken. And let me tell you something. John Mahama will have his day and go, right? Because he already has the goodwill of the people. After John Mahama, whoever becomes the president of Ghana, you better come ready. You better come ready. Because the youth of today, thanks to the internet, but the internet is a 2x sword because it's the same internet. And so, and okay, the Chief Free Finance people, so, or you see, at the yes answer, we say, knowing very well, say, I did a walk, and crack. But you go and feed wrong information. The other day, so busy to see your friends saying, "I'm born yet." I also call you sitting, Bahama, Akakwasi says, Kabia Kugu, whatever. I heard his retraction, if you can call it one, that Okansano, he was speaking in semantic terms. Semantics, also a lawyer. But the bro will be cramped, they explain it, then impone me, who says, I brought from Obeko can work out to. It is a lawyer near Bronya.
Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. Radio culture can't be beat. Voices blend in harmony. This is where you want to be. Hey, Rasquissy on the mic tonight, bringing light with all his might. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze.
Just imagine so when you are Semo, Okokot, Oloya ni Abronye. I leave it to you. All right. People, listen. We could go on and on and on and on. I just wanted to draw people's attention to something that we need to be very careful about, okay? Your Ghana, people feel like politics is just another way of life. Oh, politics, your friend is saying sticker. Inshaeso, how does Inshaeso end up with sticker as its MP? Because I've lived in Inshaeso for a long time. I grew up in Inshaeso. Part of my growing up was in Inshaeso. Kumasi Inshaeso is like, what would that make you? How did Inshaeso end up with Sticker as the MP? If not for politics and nonsense, manipulations and all kind of, you understand what I'm saying though? You understand what I'm saying? Not Sticker and a Kasama baby once upon a time appear Menka used to live. Sticker. So Sticker will come and tell us, say, Akufo-Addo left us a robust economy. When Akufo-Addo himself and says next president will come and fix it. And here you are telling us, say, then. So we have Afenyo Marking standing in a house of record to declare falsehood. Say, oh yeah, John Mahama has, you kind of say appointed all these presidential staffers when it's not true. But Oka to Honum now about Beye because he knows it's being broadcast. What I say, Oka, if there's no pushback to it, right, then the people will pick it and take it. They kind of saying, Charlie, it is a shit show in Ghana with this politics thing. It is. And with people like Okatakyie Afrifa, you cannot trust those people. But you know what though? I think said, or when the group, you can't do nothing about those people. For all different types of reasons. Shite won't smell in their nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you can't do nothing to them. They're just where they are. Right? Because the other day, 2 weeks or so after Muhammad took over, I saw some vox pop in Kumasi, and this guy was like, oh, debut, and the doom sonny didn't share. I didn't dare. And I doom son no diabano, and the yin and the falla sat to say the Nakufado no. Hey, bra Kwame. And the time Akufado way, now we falla. Young funny, sir, right? But what I know is say, people like us, we will be firm and resolute. Because for too long, we're like, oh yeah, now okay, maybe it's not a field that politics for the more politics. No, sir. Because you know what? Everything these people do affects me too, and my children too. All the nonsense they do as policy affects me and my children too. So am I going to sit down and let Abronye and Chemawun to me? And you're kind of saying, Bakune friend is saying, these are the people who want to dictate the narrative. That is the biggest problem with the African society. You know that famous talk about which writer was that? Wole Soyinka? No, that was not Wole Soyinka. I think that was Chinua Achebe. I think I stand corrected, but you're kind of saying that saying about the African. I think it's Wole Soyinka actually. Africans will go to school, and then the best, will go into all different type of areas, and then some of those who whatever will go into the politics, and then they will come and determine how you should live your life. Shakwa we call parliament and saying or obtain table. Shesakwa not botai, not booking your friend honorable. 110 table, I will camera some ye one. And country in him so nice man, beard, everything. Unka sen kasabi sabi with Jimmy sir. Right? But you have somebody like this breaking state property on live camera. For what reason? These are the people who will make policy for you, who would sign papers on your behalf. So you have to make your voice heard. And when people like Okatakyie Afrifa step in to do their bidding, we have to step in and counter that nonsense. So Okatakyie Afrifa, congratulations on your new studio. Why? Yes. Congratulations on your new studio, but I think you need to invest a little more into something. You need to invest in some good researchers and maybe a refresher course in journalism 101. Because number one, Oh yeah, journalist, as I've said, no, and can video no, and can also check the veracity of it. Number one, number two, you should inform yourself on like what Crampo was your point, because Mahama Abba in 2 months, if he has identified a need, senka impono bekra sa enomano edia ko baby to serve a particular need. What anything else. Okatakyie Afrifa. What track record of leadership do you have? What track record of constructive criticism do you have? None. Because the criticism push you to the limelight in no. One person so my say no jandam no. You came to the limelight on the heels of lies. And you still want people to listen to you. The least you could have done. And it's like I'll try so but with a more researched approach. My example. This guy from Kennedy Japan's TV, on the friend is saying. The name that my name to say, but yeah, that guy who was on Kennedy Japan's TV, right? And then they had that misunderstanding, and he left, and then he went to go. I don't know if he formed it or if he was employed by that media house. I don't know, CTV or something like that. He's always speaking with Hopes Nadoy and all that. But when we said that guy, Kwekwa 9, I think that's his name, Kwekwa 9 or Kofiana or something like that, something like that. But right, you notice, he reinvented himself. He reinvented himself. Love him, hate him, butter him on both sides, roast him, and do whatever you want to do with him. But that guy has reinvented himself, or at least is in the process of reinventing himself. This guy, on the contrary, seems to be reinforcing his position as the king of Jandam. And no ma enye no kre, eye propagandist against, as long as it's against the NDC or it's against John Mahama's government there. I'm the person, come to me. I'll put out the most ridiculous nonsense. As long as you, my docile, infantile, stupid listeners are ready to imbibe what I'm saying. And if you listen to him, of course, you know where to place yourself. Because me personally, I'd rather listen to this guy, friend is saying, YouTuber guy, friend is saying, Gossips 24. I swear, I'd rather listen to Gossips 24 than to listen to you kind of saying Okatakyie Afrifa. Because you know why? Gossips 24 or can gossip or can something that sounds like it's not serious. But look at the quality of research that guy puts in his work. Look at the quality of work. I don't know, I think it's called Clement or something. Look at the quality of, you're kind of saying, the quality of work that he puts in his thing. He researches the court case. Sometimes, if I don't have too much time, I'll skip the news and go to him for a summary. And this is somebody who's doing gossip. Into who can't say a informing call for opinion on national issues, no. It's in the very lowest bar. And it's in basic checks. Full of himself. These are some of the images I wanted to show you. Unfortunately, I couldn't load all of them, so I won't even go too deep into that. But I just made a quick note of his choice of suits. He loves to dress in flamboyant, like bright colors. Right? This is the same guy I know bulletproof. Or see omunko protest. Or could you protest in him, but on bulletproof. Na mama mbisa wo, uni obi kwa akon. And yeah, the funny protest na sem na. In the context of protest na no. On no akwa bulletproof. And washe. And osi dinichi na monko. What is he telling you? When I'm doing a chiti says sabi, you don't want to employ your faculties. No. Let's stop for a moment and ask that. Or see bedinichi na monko. You can't say protest. Protest na monko no. Or no share bulletproof. Who need baby a ton bulletproof? Who was camper who need baby a ton be? And also Brian no dinichi no ye. This guy's a wannabe everything. He sees wannabe motivational speaker, or wannabe motivational speaker, or wannabe bodybuilder, wannabe soldier, wannabe. But when I'm checking it, I check me. Who say no cry no. This guy's too devious, man. Too devious. Mokai said sometime he went to go raid some Galamsey site near there. And this was after I had come to do a show which was quite scathing on him on this same platform, right? But I came back and I was like, oh, kudos for that. I gave him, big ups for that. I thought, it was pretty cool. Only to find out, and I don't know how many people caught it, only to find out later, this guy called Ziga or something like that, who's, I think he's a Kesben or something, but he also shows up on UTV or their entertainment show. No, that guy, Ziga. One day on the show, he dropped something and I made the connection. Okasano say, MPP phobia among them Nankasano. And now almost decided, they would sponsor something like that. And Okatakyie Afrifa FRS Hopona or call Yena or Chesi Chinese for near money fans signing pono. It was a political move which was sponsored by some people within the NPP, according to Ziga. And the video is there. The video was on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. Ziga said it. So this guy cannot be trusted at all. Even when he's doing something nice, oh, yeah, man, the fans, oh, okay, why are there? And scratch the surface more, dig deep small. You see the deviousness right there. Why? We're trying to build a nation. We're trying to build a nation. And thankfully, the heart of the youth the hearts, I should say, of the youth, are with the president. The hearts of the people are with the president. Most people in Ghana right now wish the president well. No one wishing the well, because he's working for you. The president is your servant. Now, who employ you be? That's what's our wishing. Say, money succeeded here. What is wrong with you? Let's support the president. Oh yeah, Adia Enya, we will be there. You think we are joking? He's been there before. We didn't sit down and keep quiet. When Muhammad was president, we didn't say it was a cakewalk. And to let him do his thing. When he messes up, we'll be there to critique and criticize constructively. But to start these things, our own names are creating the illusions. I don't even know the video. Oh, what's the Diffie America Braille and all of these things? No, it's not gonna fly. And I'm shocked that you even think you can do that thing. It will end up very badly for you. I can promise you that, one way or the other. And the best of those scenarios that I see, and it's at some point, your paymasters will realize that it's not worth their while, and they'll pull their money, and it will be another case of you having to jump to something else, like you keep jumping from one spot to the other this whole time. I see that as the best case scenario. But I promise you it's not going to end well, because I see some solid platforms. Just one of them will drown you. So maybe you want to stick with your base, And I make We'll just go leave their matter for them. All right. I'll be right back after this commercial break.
It is time again for the biggest Roots Reggae Festival in Africa, the Kuchoko Roots Festival 2025, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, for the very first time in Ghana, performing live culture featuring Kenyatta Hill, son of the legend Joseph Hill.
I took a sleep this morning, coffee
Also bringing down the house from Augustown, Jamaica, is Dwayne Stevenson.
So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. Godfather, you rescue me.
Alongside the legendary reggae gospel singer George Nooks from Kingston, Jamaica.
That God is standing by.
Kingston meets Accra for a highly spiritual tango in a Kuchoko style. Oh my God, all hell will break loose and Satan will be taken hostage. This is Kuchoko Roots Festival 2025, and from Ghana, welcome your roots master, the Kuchoko legend, Black Rasta with the herbalist band.
Rasta man don't go in a barber shop. Rasta man can sit in a barber chair.
Conqueraja vibes, Rena, Mighty Octodus band, Nana Nto, the Bombardier. Osajifo, Nilante, Jawai, Daddy Bosco, Ras Apia Levi, Kwame Bediakon, Akle, Tona Hope, and the High Life legend Samuel Owusu from Burkina Faso. Meet Zedmu, Rasim Posh, and Imahadu. Saturday, 8th March 2025. The venue is La Pleasure Beach, Accra. Time is 12 noon till you drop. Rate is only 50 Ghana cedis. And as usual, there will be free cocoa, kulkuli, kose, and masa to break your fast and to put you in the spiritual mood for Kuchoko Bam. And for more information, you contact 0244 499 461. Media partners
TV3, Onya TV, Onya FM, 3FM, Connect FM, Akuma FM, Black Empire Media, Prekesa Media.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the show. This is where we wrap it up. But before I go, let me just make a quick point that we do not want to make individuals the subject of this show at all. As you know, one of my editorials on the live stream, weekend live stream, has been when the newsman becomes the news. I don't think newsmen should be the news, but people like Okatakyie Afrifa strive to be the news. They want to be both in the news and be the news. And they strive towards that. Most broadcasters, most journalists, most newsmen, most people in that position want to stay behind the camera. They want to stay behind the script. They do not want to be on the script. But this guy strives to be on the script, strives to be in front of the camera, strives to be in the thick of the action. He cannot decide what to do, what he is. He cannot decide if he's a journalist, or if he's a chief, or if he's a politician, or if he's a what. I don't know. It is our duty as Ghana to make sure that people like this do not own the narrative. And that's why this platform exists. It's very, very, very important that we do not leave the narrative to people like Okatakyie Afrifa. That will be a sin to our future generations, a sin for which we will not be forgiven. Because the narrative and the level of intelligence that goes with it will ensure that we stay in one spot and just engage in useless, foolish politicking, generation after generation after generation. How many political presidential terms make one generation? Help me answer that. How many presidential terms make one generation? So how many presidents does it take to mess up a whole generation's dreams and vision? So before you realize, that generation would have transitioned into a different generation. Before you realize, the youth that were energetic and waiting for the jobs to be created for them had to sit and wait for 8 years to swing by, waiting for the next government. And when the next government comes, we have people like Okatakyie Afrifa who would come and want to keep us in the status quo for another 8 years. That cannot be right. We cannot do that. We owe it to our children and our children's children to snatch the narrative from people like Okatakyie Afrifa. My name is Kwesi, a son Bako. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll be back in about an hour with some serious reggae music, but I'll also be back, God willing, next week with some more on Weekend Editorial. Thank you very much for doing the listening. I'm out.
Tune in now, it's the weekend buzz. Ask Kwesi bringing news that does. Cutting edge on radio culture flow. Voices rise as the good vibes grow. Seeking editorial feels like bliss. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go. Topical vibes rolling through the waves. Conversations that'll make you rave. From politics to island tales, every story fills our sails. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. Radio culture can't be beat. Voices blend in harmony. This is where you want to be. Hey, hey, Raz Kwesi on the mic tonight, bringing light with all his might. Tune into that weekend show. Feel the breeze, just let it go.